Hello, maayong hapon. I am Vanessa Cebuano. Welcome to the Freeman Conversations, where we talk about the latest trends, events, and issues. Joining us live today in our studio is Marlon Douglas Hofer. He's the convener and executive director of the Cebuano Cinema Development Council, and he's joining us today to talk about the group's Cebuano film advocacy and their intention of reviving and implementing the city ordinance creating the said council. Maayong hapon, Sir Marlon.
Maayong hapon. Nakaabot ng gito sa inyo.
Finally, we meet and thank you for gracing our show.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so blessed and I feel so happy that finally nakarinig ko sa inyo show. I'm a follower. I follow this show and I can say that this is a very innovative and very timely. Kay you talk about a lot of issues niya. Magtanaw ka, mas kinaglara ka sa phone. Palingaw ka ay nindot.
But thank you, sir. Credit is due to our online editor.
Hello.
Jumpers Octal.
Hello, sir. Congratulations.
Brains behind all of this.
Wow.
And his assistant, of course, again. Before anything else, happy 23rd anniversary. 25th anniversary din sa Banat News.
Congratulations.
Our sister publication.
Congratulations and more power.
Let's get right down to it, sir. First of all, can you give us a bit of background about yourself? What led you to the cinema industry? Why were you passionate enough about cinema that made you one of the conveners to create or propose the Cebuano Cinema Development Council?
My love for the arts started when I was in college. I used to be the president of University of San Carlos Theater Guild. It's the oldest campus-based theater group, and then when I moved to Manila, I worked with ABC5, and then I went to Regal, and then I went to Premiere Films, doing production work. I started as a production assistant, Timplag Kapi, and all these things, and I rose from the ranks because at that time, I was a talent manager, and then ang ako mga talent, sige na ko sila ipa-audition sa mga commercials, mga films, mga TV. Ang akong boss ato si Manny Valera.
Okay.
He is the manager of Discover, also Chris Aquino. And then I noticed ang akong mga talents, sige sila kapastar niyan, may mga age bracket para nako. Audition sad ko. So fortunately, I was able to land in several TV commercials. By the grace of God, siguro more than 12 commercials akong nabuhat nga ako ang
So these are mga 90s?
Yes, I did McDonald's, Jollibee, Milo, San Miguel, all these endorsements naman. Nalipay kay, hala, mubalik na lang din siguro pag actor kaysa mahimong talent manager.
By the way, sir, what were you studying at San Carlos?
I was studying business administration.
But in your heart, you wanted to join the
Since I was in theater, that was a very good training ground. It helped boost my confidence, and I realized dili mo dili sa lisod, no? Kanang murag nalingaw-lingaw lang good, pero on hindsight, those were the training days. Mo dito mahimo na ko mga kanang strength, especially kanang mo audition ko, because kung audition ko, I felt like it was just an ordinary thing that I'm doing. Of course, I put in a lot of effort and some prayers also. Pero because of the training that I got, mo siguro itong madawat sad ko. So I became a mainstay of ABS-CBN shows. I played lawyer, doctor, priest. Kung ako ang pari, magbuwag akong kaslon. Kung ako ang lawyer, mapildi ang kaso. Kung ako ang sa pangalan, lawyer, doctor, priest. Kung ako ang priest, then ako i-pro-over, mamatay. Pero taas ang rating. So, inanak siya na.
But you're not only associated with the ABS-CBN, mo racket with Kasauban.
I was basically from ABS-CBN because I was with their artist registry. That's a department under the talent center. Kung doon na sila yung mga support characters or mga character roles, ato sila manguha. And these people are from theater or kanang dunay background, dunay mga TV commercials. So although it was kanang difficult, I had an edge because daghan naman kong commercials, daghan naman kong theater background. So, pirmi kong mugawas. Sige mugawas akong commercial. Ik-anan ako sa channel, uy, ako ang McDonald's. Ik-anan ako sa Pika, uy, ako ang ning Milo. Ik-anan ako, mag-anan bitaw, no? And then the earnings that I got from my theater, TV commercials, akong gi-enroll o film production.
In Manila.
In Manila. So I studied in Mobile Fund. I studied in Asia Pacific Film Institute. I studied in St. Paul's. All these things because I felt there was more challenge being a director than an actor. Kaya di ba kung actor, tagaan lang kag script, i-motivate ka and then you do it. Pero kung ikaw ang director, you can choose the material that you want to do and choose the people that you want to work with.
The captain of the ship.
Murag yun ana. So that was my motivation. And one time when I moved to, when I was in Cebu, because every kanang simulog, manhimagid ko for Santo Niño, gi-invite ko sa city government through my uncle, the late June Quintanar. He said, Marlon, would you want to be in the city government? Through his children, si Han, who already passed away also, like Uncle June and Carla, they said, Marlon, sige, you try joining us in Cebu kay si Han. Kuha man siyang protocol officer, di man siya ganahan, kaya naman siya i-call sa Freeman, sa entertainment. Ikaw na lang, kaya ikuptan ni, kuhan Mayor May, kay balibara na to. And so, I went to City Hall. I sat down with 5 other people. Na-interview na dito na ako. And then finally, I got to talk to the mayor. And that's how I got into Cebu local government. At first, I was appointed as protocol officer. Later on, I was moved to the Public Information Office as creative director for their daily newscast. It's called Barok sa Subo with Mayor Mike Ram. It's aired on CCTN.
So in 2014, sir, whose idea was it to propose a resolution to come up with Cebuano Cinema Council?
Actually, during my stay, I was already in the city government. I kept talking to the late Nards Chu, and then he said, Marlon, matay na lang siguro ko, hindi yun na mahitabo ng council. Kaya there is so much politics in the area and in the government. Di na siya suportahan. Kaya katong there was, prior to that, murag doon na may attempt, no, pero wag may tabo. So that served as a challenge. I prayed about it ko, Lord, Sharo sa Lord, para sa arts and culture, bayat ni. And so, I talked to Sir James Cuenco. Sir James, would you want to sponsor a city ordinance creating a Cebuano Film Development Council? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm interested. I used to be a producer. I'm an actor also.
You talked to the right guy.
Yeah, I was led to the right person. So I talked to Bambi Beltran. At that time, she was the National Commission for the Culture and Arts, NCCA, Cinema Coordinator for Visayas. And then I talked to Ron Tan. He is, until presently, the president of Sinulog. And then I talked to Sir D.N., who's also a professor sa San Carlos Cinema Studies. I told them, can we please invite all the filmmakers in Cebu, and then let's sit and then write down what we want, so that there will be an organization who can cater to the needs of filmmakers and artists at the same time. And so Miss Bambi was so kind enough, she owns Cooks. She invited all the filmmakers, and then we sat down. And then we wrote a draft, and then I presented it to Sir James Cuenco, and then he said, okay, I'll sponsor the city ordinance, but would you have backings from the local community, the students, the teachers, or who are supportive of the local cinema? Yes, I said yes. Actually, wala ba yan? Yes, kanang naghimo dayon ko o mga ingon ani. And then I had it signed by mga MASCOM students, and then I went to Sinulog Film Festival, nagpa-sign din niya sa entrance, please sign mo ni para naatay ka ng Cinema Council. We were able to gather more than 300 to 500 signatures, which I affixed to the ordinance and submitted it to ordinance draft at that time, submitted it to Sir James Cuenco, Councilor Cuenco. And then he presented it in the city council.
Basically, sir, from that meeting at Cooks, what was it that you, stakeholders of the Cebuano film industry, wanted?
We wanted an organization, an umbrella organization that will protect, that will develop and preserve the cinema especially because cinema is a social communication tool, no, that preserves the art and culture, especially on a specific time, unsa may kanang panguna-una sa mga tao, unsa mga issues anang panahon na. So it should be preserved in cinema as point of reference, no, sa kung unsay ato ang development as a community or as a Cebuano. Yeah.
Sir, it was the ordinance was approved in 2014.
Yes.
It is now 2019. So what has happened? What has happened since?
It was approved in 2014, and then on the following year, gitagaan mi og chance nga maghimo og kanang strategic planning. So the appointment ang kuan kanang 8 council members, no, representing the academe, representing independent cinema, producers, actors, all stakeholders or shareholders in local cinema. Pag-abot sa among strategic planning, we were able to identify unsay ato ang mga kinahanglan, unsay ato mga strong points at that time, unsay ato mga weak points, and then we were able to come up with how many page daghan kay mig na kanang nahisgutan, no. Si Attorney Panugaling man siguro itong facilitator at that time, and we presented it to the office of the city mayor so that he can get to see it, and then more or less get to finance the projects that we or programs that we want in place.
And back then, the mayor was still Mayor
Yes,
Manila.
yeah. And then after we were about to implement it, usagi among nahimo nga kanang project at that time. It's called Salidagan. It's a short film competition nga about sa life ni Vicente Rama.
Okay.
Kaya siya man atong father sa charter na sa Cebu. So, murag ko anto siya in 78 hours, you write, you shoot, and then you edit, and then you present your 10-minute video. We have contests na dahil kung kinsay best film, best director, best actor. So that was the only project that we were able to implement.
Sige sir, for the enlightenment of our viewers nga naman, what happened nga wala siya na follow upan?
Wala na follow-upan because unfortunately in 2016, wala man makadaog ato ang Mayor Rama. And then we tried to follow it up, and then there was a change of leadership in the Committee for Arts and Culture Tourism. At that time, ang si Sir James Cuenco, he was the head. And then nibalhin sa kan Madam Margot, and then we tried to approach her if she can help us, medyo dili man among the priorities of the government. And then unfortunately also the former Mayor Asmenia, dili kayo niya priority ang arts and culture. So natenga min tanan, walay nahitabo ang amo ang mga kuyog, nangaluya, so walay nabuhat. So ako nagpadayon lang gyapon ko maskin wala ko'y political, financial, or whatever backing. Si Lord nagita akong gisaligan, Lord, padayunan na lang ni akong sinigugma, Lord. Sinigugma is a workshop about filmmaking, free workshop, and then we target mga young students na that are church-based, community-based, barangay-based, out of school. We gather them all. In 2 days, they learn the basics of filmmaking. Cinematography, production design, editing, acting, directing. Ang ilang output, maghimo sila 10-minute video. Unya, festival na dayon, there's a winner, technical acting awards. Unya, at that time, pirmi namang duulan si Vice Mayor Labella. Ang imong papa, producer lang sa una may Vice, unya, actor pa yun, kita mo ko sa mga pelikula, nag-acting ka. Anak si Vice, actors din si Vice Mayor at that time, si Labella. Mo ay kay ka mo acting, Vice, uy, pag-bakit may trophy, Vice P, para sa mga winners na natin. Yeah, of course, I have a heart for that.
So naparaygan na siya.
Naparaygan.
Sa cinema.
Yeah. So moto,
when he got elected mayor,
noon na ito.
nagka-hope ka.
Yes, nagka-hope ko, nagdahong na din ko, marag twing, Lord, tabak-tagait ang pagsakto nga courage and boldness nga duulon siya nga tabangan ning atong Cebuano cinema. Kay iya biyang papa sikat kay nga director, yang papa producer, unya kanang nasa gyud siya heart for culture and arts, okay. kuan man siya kanang a very wholesome kanang character bitaw nga naagid siya tanan ba kompleto equipped.
So, sir, have you had the chance of an audience with him na?
Ako siyang yatangan kay mag-jogging man na siya diya sa sa Avellana. Kana siya ang usa ka kauban na sila grupo nga mag-jogging every Saturday. Tawagan din ko niya, Brother Marlon, direct nakadiri si Mayor, dili kay atong duulan sa imong tuyo. So nidungan mi sa iya og dagan-dagan ngadto sa kuan. And then ako siya gingan, Mayor, pabangit Mayor niya. Oh, sige, ipadala na tanan imong mga papeles. You cannot act on it until you have all the documents submitted. So there's a ray of hope, and I'm really there and claimed by faith. Kadunay mahitabo with the present administration, si Mayor Obeah and Vice Mayor Rama.
Okay. If hatagan ka go signal to revive and implement the ordinance, creation of the Cebuano Multimedia Council, what are your immediate plans and programs?
Immediate plans, I want to tie it up with the 500-year anniversary of our Catholic faith. Kanang makatabang sad ta to celebrate, to empower our viewers, not just to give them entertainment, but to give them something that can inspire, that can educate, that can empower them as viewers.
What do you have in mind? So maybe a documentary or a feature film?
Yeah, for immediate lang, i-continue lang siguro nato o kanang paghatag og free workshops sa mga barangay o sa mga students para modaghan ang mga filmmakers who are allowed to do movies, no? Pero I want to tie it up with Christian values or kung sa atong activities sa church. Just like sinigugma, amo ang gi-adapt nga theme katong pag-IEC, mo ito ilahang theme. So all the films were made according to the theme, Christ in us, our hope of glory. And then last year, karong year ba itong National Youth Day, no? I am the servant of the Lord, be it done to me according to your word. So that ang ilang output, doon ay redeeming value. Not necessarily nga mo nag-preach ka, because it can be ordinary stories involving ordinary people. But when you watch it, makaingon ka, okay, nindot man di ay, no?
The Sinigugma, sir, how many editions were able to do? And was this something that you, out of your pocket, out of your own pocket, no?
The first 3 years was financed by the Cebu City Youth Development Council, COSA. There were interagencies, PIO. Pero katong nawala na mi sa City Hall, naglibo kung saan nila kung wala may financing. So out of kuan lang, boldness and commitment, I pray to the Lord kinsa ako mga duulan. Giduol ko ni Tatay Dodong sa CCTN. Tayo pwede diha kami mag-workshop para libre among venue. Yeah. Oh, sige daw, sa paman. Tagay may program na ayaw may i-charge of block time, ha? Among ipagawas siya pagkaman. Oh, sige daw. And then I talked to Bishop Palma. And then he said, sa may atong kinahanglan, kung ang Bishop, kinahanglan tamig na sa venue for the festival mismo niya. Sige, you lang, you write a letter lang kanya kanang atong tabangan na masugot ang SM. Basta ang mga youth na to, dili pasagdan ha, kaya this is a very good tool for pagsangyaw. So I got them, and then I went to a charismatic community. Pwede tayong makuan kanang sponsor sa among pagkaon during the workshop o naasad. So tanan mga needs, hinay-hinay, ihatag.
Daghan na dyan mo support, sir, sa Cebuano community.
Daghan yun ay ang ganahan mo support. Unya, naghilom-hilom lang. It's just a matter of reaching out. And you know, it really humbled me because I believe that it was God's hands telling me what to do, whom to approach, and how to do it. Right now.
So, nag-gather na ba ito ng papeles, sir? Nahatag na ni mo ni Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, so, waiting na lang ta.
Waiting and pray.
Response.
Yes.
Okay. So, aside from this year being the 500th anniversary of Christianity.
That will be on the 2021.
Okay. This year is the centennial of Philippine cinema.
Yes, ang atong usa ka friend, they are actually pillars of the Cebuano film industry. The Sevillas, the Renilios. The only Cebuano film entry in that festival, no? It's spearheaded by kanang Film Development Council of the Philippines. Do not tayo Cebuano entry. It's called Ang Pagbalik. It's produced and directed and starred by Gloria
The
Sevilla,
queen of
the queen of Visayan
Visayan
movies. Yeah, ang iyang anak si Suzette Ranillo. Ug ang iyang anak sa apag umangko nila na actually ang apelyido niya Amatong pero he's using the screen name Ranillo gyapon, Vince Ranillo.
What is ang pagbalik all about, sir?
Ang pagbalik is talks about the dilemma of an OFW, no? Na simple family sila, murag mubalik ba siya gawas nga mapasagdan niya iyang pamilya or ari na lang siya iyan lang atimanon kay kung gawas siya na siya kwarta ikapid or ari lang siya magantosan sila kung sa'yo naa sa ilaha. So that's the premise of the film.
Which a dilemma that many can relate. I myself is a parent of an OFW.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's a very timely and relevant na topic. Who are napay uba aside from Gloria Sevilla, Zatranillo, kinsa pa ibang mga Cebuano cast?
They're actually the only Cebuano stars na ilado, but the rest, since it was shot in Cagayan de Oro,
Okay.
they also shot in sa Divine Mercy's Shrine na to. I still have to see the film, but I believe it's a very nice Visayan Cebuano project.
Okay. And isa ng pelikulang Pilipino which this film is a part of will run from
Yeah,
September
11, 12, 13, hangtod 15 siguro. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take note.
Congratulations to FDCP. It's on their third year,
Yeah.
pero karong tuiga lang nila gihimong competition. The first 2 years was screening
Yes.
na good.
In fact, the first year is notable because one of its products was the hit Cebuano film Patay na
Ah,
Si
yes. I saw that.
By
I saw that.
Cebuano filmmaker Victor
Victor
Villar.
Villar.
Sir, Centennial Philippine Cinema, for you, unsay what is the contribution of Cebuano cinema to the Philippine cinema in general?
Agoy kadaghanan biya sa mga ayong laki, no? Dunay Cebuano roots. Unya in terms of artistry, makakita ka niniga anino tan-aw nimo Cebuano. So talent, kasi tawag na resilience kay in terms of technology, maayo man sa mga Cebuanos, no? Ang mga 3D animation sa kanadiha. Ang ato yung pinaka-best nga contribution I think is sa talent and the character, the resilience without to do it even if kanang limited ang budget or limited ang funds.
And by talent, you're not only talking about actor.
I know, no. Behind, on cam and behind.
Okay. Sir, I hear about, people talk about the golden age of Cebuano cinema. So, for us nga, wala nakabulana or we're not very aware of that. Can you describe to us how that time was? And do you believe Cebu can achieve that again?
Actually, ang ako sa abtan anak mga pelikula lang nila kay mutanaw may gumanggara ang pelikula. Gimingaw ako, Gustariban sa Kasakit, Matod Nila, all this film. Itlog Manoy Orange, Sigot the Wonderful, even these films ngayon na daghan mo yung mga pelikula nga kanang ang labi ng mga karaang tao, nalingaw din sila and at that time they were at par sa Manila. In fact, kanang we had our own industry at that time, pero since ni mahal man ang equipment, ni mahal ang mga film, ni mahal ang kuan na ato na sa Manila na nahimong center kaya ang ato mga maayong lucky ilan man pangkuhaon.
Because I was gonna ask why it died down. So mo din ang reason nga nung
Yes.
okay.
And it was heavily taxed. Even up to now, heavily taxed the industry.
Okay. Sir, what kind of Cebuano films would you like to see?
Lain-lain, sad kay lain-lain ng atong viewers, no? And then, Cebuano filmmakers do not do films for themselves. We do it for a particular audience. So, we have to be in touch with our audience, what the audience wants. Pero ako, since I am a servant sa Archdiocese, sa Media Ministry, I'd like to empower my viewers with films that does not just entertain, but also instill positive redeeming values in our ito.
Okay.
Regardless of what genre, horror ba, action, story, or what.
Unsa may ka ng Cebuano film na imong nakita lately that naganahan ka?
Katong cute dito, katong magbuwag takay.
Meron nga dito,
yeah.
Akiko Solo.
Yes, Akiko, hello if you're
Princess.
watching. Yeah.
Okay. So, hilig ko din. Ganun ko din ka-rom-com, sir.
Of course.
Hi, Miss Shine. Okay. So, kinsa di ang current member sa CCGC?
Ang katulad i-mention ako katong karaan na members because kung current members, ang mayor baya ang mamili.
Okay.
So wala ko hold ana. So ang katong kanaan nga mga members si Miss Bambi Beltran, si Ron Heritan of Sinulog, Sir D.M. Hodilla of USC Cinema Studies, si Ma'am Gloria George Royo of CCTN, and then Sir Bien Fernandez of CAMS and UP. Wala naman siya na retire na siya ng UP and USC. So far, oras to siya.
When you told them, ba siguro if your plans to revive the council, ano man, napasiligana, katong mga imong nag-gather pag 2014?
Yes, ganahan ba yun? Si Successor ni Leo, appeal sa siya, pero since she's based in Manila, kanang sahara siya makaari, wala kayo siya ma-involve. Pero by heart, she's all supporting.
Sir, as far as you know, what are the challenges karon sa Cebuano cinema industry? And what do you propose na kung saan man nato pag-address?
Daghan man ng mga film festival nga hinulay, lain mo na sila og mga ginahimo. They can continue what they're doing. What we want to do is support each other.
Can you name these festivals, sir?
Binisaya Film Festival, of course. Sinulog Film Festival. Kining sa mga school-based na mga festivals, there's in USC, there's USJR, halos tanan ng mga schools doon na sila film festival. And then, kaning amoa wala naman kasi sa city government, sinigugma.
Is the Cebu movie industry currently unified?
As in any other dili siya unified, no? But the point that we have the heart, we have the passion to polish and to perfect our craft, that should be a motivating force to unify us.
Okay. How do you think we can improve our facilities, our tourist spots, our accommodations to make Cebu a more attractive and conducive filming location?
Agree, that is a challenge to the present local government also, because that should be included in their priority programs. Right now, the Department of Tourism, there is a region, incidentally, ang ako din cousin, Shalimar Hofer Tamano, he is the regional director of the tourism in our region. He is extending and he is reaching out to the different tourism officers, tourism sa mga LGU nato, no, so that they can have a more or less uniform program on how to do it and which priorities ilang unahon.
What do you think of Cebuano talents going to Manila to share their talent there instead of staying?
That is okay, but kanang tinuod mo ng imperialist Manila good. Pag maabot ka nga you become a second-class citizen, and then you cannot be treated equally unless you really know where you stand, and you have to assert yourself, and you have to be confident enough to reach out to people. I want to see a Cebuano talents nga ni adiri mismo sa Cebu, nga sila mismo ang nagpadagan, nga sila mismo ang nagtinabangay, because that can be created, and charity begins at home. Before we can even reach out to, we don't compete with Manila, we complement their activities, no? But we should be able to come up with different activities din sa Cebu, so that on our own we will survive, and hindi nakita lang watong Manila para lang magkatrabaho or para lang musikan.
The plans are to come up with Cebu City Film Festival.
Yeah.
Plano padayon pa nga plano?
Ato kita sa ka-priority nga programa, no, na may untang suportahan sa mga local government units na dunay entry ang Mandaue, dunay entry ang Lapu-Lapu, dunay entry ang sa paning lain-lain syudad nato dinhi, and then 1 week tanga na ay mga pelikulang Binisaya na pagawa sa Cebu or something like that, like the Metro Manila Film Festival.
Okay. Napakay panawagan, sir, sa kanang, let's say, Cebuano talents who found success in Manila and na sila gamay na influence, maybe they can come back home and parlay that influence into helping your cause.
Wherever you are, tarungan lang na ninyo ang inyong gibuhat, because you don't carry your name, you carry the Cebuano pride, and your pride, your victory is our victory. Your failure is also our failure. So you just do the best in your craft and never ever forget your roots that you are Cebuano. Nga gi-empower mo sa Ginoo ang inyong talent, not for yourself but for not just for Cebu but for the whole world to appreciate and be grateful about.
So there was also a time, I think last year, when you were part of a film by Carlo Caparas, and then there was a bit of issue about how Cebuano talents were treated.
Yeah.
But for those who will in the future get Cebuano talents again for their projects, unsa may message mo nila? How should they treat Cebuano talents?
Cebuano talents are at par with anyone in the world. Basta tarunga lang sa ug dala, respect, unya kanang you give them what is due to them. Kay kuan na siya kanang value per value ba.
In turn, sir, dapat kayo mensahe sa Cebuano talents on how they should behave when given opportunities like that.
Yes, never ever forget na kanang asa kagikan, imong roots. You can always trace your roots, no? And I always tell them 4 W's. Number 1 W is worship. Your talent is not yours, ika na sa Ginoo. You glorify God by worshiping the giver of your talent. You look at the giver more than the talent. Giver more than the gift. Number 2 is work out. You're using your body, so you should be healthy, hygiene, look good, look your best. So you have to be fit and fab. Work out. Next is workshop. Never stop learning. You learn from. You are as good as your last project. So every project is a learning process. But you learn on your own. Pwede YouTube, workshop, so workshop. And then the last is work ethics. Always respect. Always be humble. Never be satisfied with mediocrity. Always try to kanang level up. So workshop,
work out.
Worship and work ethics.
Work ethics, okay.
And work will come, overflowing.
Nindot ang advice for our aspiring talents.
Yeah.
But aside from being a director, an advocate of the Cebuano films, you also manage talents, am I right?
Yes.
And one of them is here today in the studio with us.
Actually, she's one talent that I realized na ang ayan kayo ni siya tabangan. They did not seek my help. I convinced myself na kining maayo gid siya niyang ma'am pagibutan kayo. They deserve all the support she deserves because she is not just pretty but very talented and humble.
Yes, joining us right now is Rain Charity Codilla. She's a student at University of San Jose Recoletos, a Cebuano music advocate and vocalist of the Euphonious Band. Did I pronounce Euphonious Band? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Rain Charity Codilla. First off, before ito siya pakantahon, asa rin mo siya na-discover, sir?
Sa YouTube, matanaw ko YouTube. Unya, pangulang mungiko ni buto kami ko. Si Kuya Brian, he's the kanang head of Obeah, Original Bisaya Music. He recommended me to their band to do a music video for them. And then I met her, and then I saw her sing, and then I got to talk to her mom. This is star material. I can see a star in her. And
how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
A long way to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Ay na lang sad nga wala pa siya ni-attend mga national contest. Kay dado na sa dito sa Manila, wala sa ta dire magsige lang tag-discover niya lain ang mopahimulos kadto sa ilang kuan. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Asa man ni take to car ang Euphonious Band?
Usually ato mi sa Cebu nga ma'am, pero depende if na magpa-book na mo. So, pinakalayo na mo na adtuan is Antique sa Palarong Pumasa.
Okay. So she's going to sing for us this afternoon?
Yeah.
Sige.
It's half of my song.
Okay. Once again, Rain Charity Codilla.
Ang iyang ma'am kaya ang nervyoso kung siya mo kanta.
Lahira, lahira, ikaw karon ug ikaw sa una. Lahira, lahira, ikaw magihigugma, ikaw nga akong gipaga. Ngano ba? Ngano ba? Ngano ba?
Yay! Is that an original song?
Yeah, it was actually composed by our guitarist and it was arranged by our keyboardist.
Okay, from chorus naman ito naman dungan. So, basically, what is the song about?
Actually, maoy na siya
Oh,
na song.
lalaki nga nag-usab na, lahi na siya. Ano ba?
Murag, nagbulag na sila ana. Murag, ang babae nag-reminisce siya sa ilang past before niya. Naka-compare din siya nga, lahi na ang laki sa una o karon murag nausab yun siya.
Single din mo imura din siya or song ni sa imong band?
Song sa band.
Oh, okay. You have a music video uploaded of it?
Yeah,
to
by
the-
Sir.
okay.
Ayan, and you please subscribe and like the video and share it. Mustardseed Multimedia.
Okay. Rain, what are your plans? You have plans to join Sinilong Idol in the future, etc.
I actually auditioned Sinulog Idol last year, but sad to say I didn't get the another callback. It was actually, there are actually 2 callbacks. So I passed the first callback, but then the second time.
Soccer time.
We'll try it again.
Yes. But I will try again this year, hopefully.
If you want to hear the entire song of Lahira, where should we go?
In YouTube, just search the song Lahira by Rain. Rain.
So, sige, course mo sa SJR?
I'm actually an AV Poli student.
Okay, what year na ka doon?
First year.
First year, okay. So, sir, kita na ba kayo bang talents? Or if na-talents kayo, naghanap pa manage nimo, what should they do?
They can like our Facebook page. It's called Mustardseed Multimedia. Or MTB, Manganta Tag Binisaya. Those are the 2 major organizations that I'm handling. Kanang sa MTV, mga singers kina siya. Kaning sa Mustardseed, more on actors.
Acting.
Yeah, acting.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ray, for sharing your talent with us this afternoon. Salamat po kayo, Sir Marlon.
Thank you.
For educating us and enlightening us today. We'd also like to say hi to a few of our viewers. We have Dulce Amore and Jose Reyes. Kailangan nila sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for watching the Freeman Conversation today. Once again, thank you, Sir Marlon and Rain. This has been Vanessa Balbana. You've watched another edition of the Freeman Conversation.